Welcome to our show, A Gentleman's Take, a video podcast that offers a more refined and sophisticated view on everything in this journey we call life.
All from the perspective of a gentleman.
I'm your host, J.D. Denbow, and this is my edgy co-host,
Mac.
How you doing, Mac?
I'm doing well.
Good. Here's a little bit of what you can expect from today's show. We are going to tackle a variety of subjects and activities and offer our take on them. Or as they say in the common tongue, sitting around and shooting the shit. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. We're really good at this. Okay, so on today's show, I would like to introduce our lady guest for the day.
Tracy.
This is Tracy. How are you, Tracy?
I'm doing quite well.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Happy to be here.
Tracy is a longtime commenter, viewer, and she definitely contributes to a lot on the show. So as far as, because I think we've made a few mentions of her.
Yeah.
As far as comments made. And yeah, so is there anything you'd like to plug or talk about? Recommendations?
Books. I like to talk about books.
Well, you know, when it comes to pop culture, books are pop culture. We've not covered that yet. So I will ask the question. Tracy, you read any good books lately?
Yes.
All right. Hit us with it. What are you reading?
So lately I've been reading A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I actually just finished it, and I'm going to start the little offshoot that they do after the big war at the end.
A Court of Thorn and Roses. What genre would you say that is?
Probably new adult.
New adult? Is it like a fantasy era?
Oh, definitely fantasy, yes.
Is it like medieval fantasy by chance?
Yeah. Fairies, that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool. Do you have a primary go-to when you read your books?
Anything with magic. Like that is, we call it the wheelhouse, and magic is my wheelhouse.
Magic is your wheelhouse. I feel like that's going to come up again.
So do you like Harry Potter?
Let's
just get that out of the way.
It's going to come up now. That's
Let's get out of that way.
I flippin' love Harry Potter.
I assumed, but I didn't want to assume. So,
I didn't want to assume your magic muggleness.
Maybe you just thought that their magic was disrespectful in comparison to the magic that you like, or whatever. I don't know.
No, it was a great coming of age story, and it was for my demographic. I was young.
Yeah, because I think we have our channel on Rumble, and I believe you referred to us as was it old farts?
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely appreciate that feedback, and you were right.
You
know, we accept it. So here's my question: as a person that understands and appreciates all sides of culture, you read the books first. What did you think of the movies?
The movies were okay.
They
They were very enjoyable as their own movies.
As their own, were they? Would you say were they faithful?
More faithful than a lot of movies. Yeah.
Okay, I've heard that. I've also heard something along the lines that they've a lot of content was left out.
Well, yes, you can't
a lot.
You cannot put a whole book into a movie.
Right. I think the most successful one would have been the Lord of the Rings series, and they still left a lot out, but they were probably the closest as far as getting what they could in there and have it make sense.
I mean, but people hated the fact that all the movies were 3+ hours. So,
did you hear? Was it 4+ on some? Did you hear that Warner Brothers is going to be doing a new Harry Potter series?
Yes, I've heard about that.
And they'll be diving into the books and be more faithful and include all the extra material that was kind of left.
So my concern is that I'm going to be too old for it when it comes out.
No, I mean, if it's something, because you've read those books ever since you were in school, right? Mm-hmm. Way back in the day. So I'm not implying an age thing. I'm sorry.
Way back in the day.
But since I know you, but I mean, that probably won't ever stop. I think because right now, aren't you playing one of the Harry Potter games?
That's right.
Hogwarts Academy?
Hogwarts Legacy. I've almost beat it.
Okay. So you enjoy the heck out of that, if I recall.
It is so much fun.
Okay. So, I mean, who's to say you wouldn't be pumped whenever you see that first trailer for the Warner Brothers series?
I think I will be, but I understand that my child brain and my adult brain are not the same.
That's true. Matter of fact, before the show, we were talking about a book she bought from her childhood And she says, I mean, I don't know as an adult if I'm going to like it or not, but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. One of my favorite book series when I was younger was the Indian in the Cupboard series.
Oh, that was good.
I love that series.
I only read the first one, but it was good.
I say they made there was a trilogy originally, but I think she branched off and made like 5 or 6, but they were nowhere near as good. But I would love to reread that as an adult, childish or not. I mean, it just was a cool story. Did you ever read Indian in the Cupboard at all when you were younger?
I was more of like I think my favorite book series when I was growing up were the like Nancy Drew Hardy Boys style books. Like I liked those kind of books growing up. That was what I spent a lot of my time reading.
Yeah, the Hardy Boys were. God, there are so many Hardy Boys books. But,
yeah.
That's a pretty cool. I read some, but then I was more into, like I said, other things that were not so like an ongoing series.
Yeah.
I don't think I tapped into the series portion of things until the Star Wars novels started coming out. Which, if you know me, I read the heck out of those.
I mean, I didn't read a lot of like fictional books. A lot of what I was reading was nonfiction.
Nonfiction.
That sounds boring.
To most people, yeah, but I mean, I thought it was cool to like just learn things. Like I thought academic bowl and reading nonfiction was cool when I was young. I don't know what to say.
Sophisticated. It was gentlemanly. Well, confession, I used to read all the time, and I've not read a book in at least 10 years.
That's understandable.
That's hard for me because, and the last fiction book I read was probably like 2009, maybe 2010. And then I switched over to nonfiction because it was just more, I don't know. I was kind of done with fiction. I wanted to read and learn, as you said. And I did that for about two years, and then just ran out of time, and I never picked up a book again. I've started so many books in the last 10 years. Like, this is the one we're going to get through. And then sometimes I don't even make it halfway through, and I'm just like, maybe I'll get you in 10 years. I don't know. So, I have so many unfinished books, don't know how things end, and I'm looking forward to actually 2023, I made a resolution to stop the movies we established, listen to more music, just sit there and just listen to it. I have a vinyl player. Mm-hmm. I just want to sit and listen to music. No phones in my little music room area, and then also read books. And so far, I've accomplished none of that.
I've got a couple books that I'll lend you.
Okay.
Like you've lent me some movies that I'm gonna be watching.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna lend you some books that I want you to read.
Okay. I'm a fan of most genres, so
it's all things we've talked about.
Unless it's magic.
What?
I'm just not into magic.
Well, that takes away like all of my book recommendations.
I don't know. You recommended Ender's Game to me.
That is true. Did you read it?
I haven't read it yet because it's been in the past 10 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you recommend it in the last 10?
That you loaned it to Mrs. Denbow. So, and she read it. She loved it. She was telling me all about it. I've seen the film Ender's Game. And that film was so good. It was so good. I'm like, I can only imagine the book has so much more because that's how the formula is. I'm like, man, if the movie's this good, how good's the book? So
it is so delightful.
I'm going to read that one for sure. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one, but that's a fun one.
I think I've heard of it.
It might help if you think of books as the written TV show. Since most of our modern day media is based off of books, you just have to think of, okay, I'm going to read this book instead of watching a TV show.
And as I'm getting out of this, like I said, I'm getting out of that watching stuff. Yeah, I'll be doing that. I would do that with, what I actually liked more than watching the movies themselves? Reading a novel based on, now a major motion picture. You'll see the cover on there, and it's like, Terminator is not a literature art from back in the day. It's a very recent film series, but they made like a film adaptation of the book, and there's so much more in this. I'm like, what were these deleted scenes? Oh, this in the movie makes so much more sense. I enjoyed reading movie books more than watching the movies sometimes.
Well, then they need to make a book for that movie Prometheus that we talked about before.
Yes.
Because there's so much left untalked about in that movie that I want to know what's in the book.
Prometheus falls under the film that had so much potential. The way they could have continued it. It'd be nice if they actually continued it in book form, past the Prometheus story. Because they deviated, the studio interfered and deviated, so the sequel barely touched on that, and that's part of the Alien series. If you've never seen Prometheus,
I have not.
Yeah,
I also haven't seen the Alien series.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So whenever you do, if you ever get to that point, you're like, man, I'm going to make a resolution to watch more movies. Yeah, I need to take away from this whole book thing for a while. If that ever happens to you like it's happened to me, then you're going to have a lot of fun series to tap into. I know your husband, and your husband has a whole, I'm sure he has a whole, I know he has a whole list of movies and films or series he wants you to watch.
Yes.
So let me know when that happens. I want to be there.
I made the commitment to start reading more and watching more movies since we started this podcast for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've gotten back into reading. I remember when I was growing up, I used to be reading all the time.
Yeah.
Whenever I was awake, I was reading. If I wasn't in school or outside playing or whatever, if I was inside and in place, I was reading. Car rides, before bed, every time.
What? Yeah, I forgot you told me you had started a book recently, probably a few weeks ago. What are you reading right now?
The book is called Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock.
Okay, so it's nonfiction.
Correct.
Okay. I was just curious. Is there any, not to get away from that, but is there any fiction that you've ever wanted to read?
I keep going back to that well.
And never got to?
Nonfiction.
There's fiction I know you like.
Lord of the Rings was, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books. I read those.
Oh, you did read those? Okay.
Yeah.
I know
that's why I watched them.
You read The Hatchet. You've read a lot of books. We've talked about
Honestly, I did not watch the Twilight movies, but I was like, what's all the rage about this? So I read the books to those.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't bad.
Did you end up watching the films?
I actually had the set of like the 4 books or 5 books or whatever.
I just remember something of a cover of someone holding an apple.
That's one of the covers.
That's Twilight.
But there's 4 books, and one of them's like a double book, but it's like 4 books. And I bought them all.
Wasn't
was
that
like
the last book that was really big? Or am I thinking of?
I think it was the third one that was really big. I read the series. I thought it was okay. And like once you read the first one, you kind of got to read the rest of it because then you invested.
That intriguing?
Well, no, it's more like you invested that much time into reading the first one, so now you need to at least get a conclusion, so you know what the deal is. But no, I won't watch the movies because those are just like all the romantic parts of the book are like this much, like 5% or less is romance, and the rest is just like, the interactions between people and stuff like that. But then the movies are like 95% romance and 5% all the other stuff. I won't watch the movies.
It's like basically you have your... Bless you. Yeah, and that's usually how it goes, especially with modern series like that. You have Coke, and then you have Coke Light or 100-calorie Coke. That's the film. I had hopes when I first saw the poster for Twilight. I'm like, what's this? And I'm like, oh, are they finally going to make vampires cool again? I was intrigued until I heard what it was, and I went, oh, no. I was bummed out. It was more of a romantic flick, and not that a good vampire story can't be romantic. It's just, I don't know. I judged it harshly. And
then you should have read the books. If you read the books, it's much more of what you're talking about you wanted to hear.
Yeah, I was just such a cinephile at the time that I just like, make vampires awesome. I don't think vampires have been cool. Blade was cool, like in the late 90s, and a couple movies they had, but I don't think vampires were as trendy after the movie Interview with the Vampire, which was based on a book, Anne Rice. And that was did you ever see that film? It had Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt are the vampires, and Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
I will watch him in anything.
Puss in Boots.
Yep. There's a new one out, Puss in Boots, I think. Or it's going to come out. I'm kind of excited for that. But back to books. Did you ever read any Anne Rice books?
Anne Rice.
I don't recommend it.
I don't think I have.
She's a... Sorry to any fans of Anne Rice. I'm just not a fan of her books are darker and a little more evil.
Sinister.
It gets more into like the ritualistic side of things, but she did create a vast world with her vampires, and I was fascinated. I was like, cinematically, I'd love to see. They made a second film, Queen of the Damned, which had Aaliyah in it.
Well, that was a good movie.
I never saw the film because I saw a part of it, and I didn't like who they got to play Lestat. How do you go from Tom Cruise to this little rock and roll boy? It just didn't make sense. Tom Cruise is this posh Victorian 1800s, with the wig and the hair. He looked fantastic to this guy that's just a rock star with his shirt open, and yeah, it just didn't fit. It didn't fit.
Like Russell Brand.
Yeah. Russell Brand, that guy. He is not somebody I like to listen to at all.
That's the British accent that I talk about being annoying.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's grating to listen to.
It is funny the dialect of English accents.
I mean, even American accents, like when you talk about like the Jersey girl accent, I couldn't do it. The Southern drawl is one thing, but like when you get Jersey girl, like the Janice off Friends kind of voice.
So, as one half of the Gentleman's Take co-host, I would like to apologize to our fans in Jersey.
I won't.
It's not a representation of what the show actually stands for. It's one person's views, and just please
Fix your voice.
Subscribe.
Oh,
and where's the mute button on your mic?
I thought you were going somewhere different.
No. Well, if you're from Boston,
Chandler.
If you're from Boston, then I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, fix your voice.
From Boston.
But because obviously we're in America, so there's a lot of good dialect there as far as you can get any region and pretty much almost know where it's from. But you get in Britain, or you get in England specifically, there are so many. Have you heard of the Sheffield accent? Boy, it's like borderline Cockney and borderline Russell Brand. It's like, if you know Cockney, that's the hello governor, and you mix that with Russell Brand, that's Sheffield, and it's like, that was the last Doctor Who.
Show me what it's like.
I don't know really where to start. I just that was the female Doctor. She was Sheffield, and so that's another reason why I couldn't watch her, because of that accent she had. Rough.
I didn't.
Accents are hard to get through. Like if you can't stand an accent, it's really hard to watch.
There's some good British accents though. Did you like David Tennant's fake British accent?
Yeah, but I'm really a David Tennant fan, so I liked all his stuff.
David Tennant, we referred to him several episodes ago. He did the voice of Scrooge McDuck in the newer DuckTales. He was in Doctor Who, a few Marvel projects and other things, and he was basically his character was responsible for the resurgence of the Doctor Who show. And let me tell you,
what about Christopher Eccleston?
He led the way, but David Tennant solidified. He was their moneymaker. All the merchandising. He's the reason the show propelled forward. Now, and the reason I'm saying this is because all the women wanted him, all the men wanted to be him, and he's just this British guy with really cool hair and big teeth. I like him though. I love David Tennant.
No, he was a great actor.
Great actor.
When he was in Jessica Jones, he made me uncomfortable. That was how good his acting was.
I like seeing somebody that's traditionally a good guy in a film. Typically, they play, and then if they can turn around and be an equally great villain, if you could tell me that a hero is as good as his villain, you have to have a great villain in any story. So if you have a cool villain, people always have that sympathy for the devil kind of thing, where it's like, well, maybe they could be redeemed to be a good guy. No. If he's a good villain, let him stay a good villain and let him go out like a villain. That's my opinion on that. In anything. Just don't be like Marvel, and if you have a good villain, don't just kill him off in one episode. Call it done. No. Evolve, have an arc. But in the end, let him stay bad. I'm glad they kept Thanos bad.
I was going to say, who are you referring to?
But, Thanos had multiple movies, but like you had like this one guy that recently, his name is Kang, and he comes out and he's like the super big bad villain, but they killed him off in this latest movie. He debuted in one movie. It's like, what? He's supposed to be a universe-threatening character. They don't know how to keep good villains. Christian Bale showed up to be a very powerful villain in one of the 4 films, and it's like, no, thanks for coming, Christian.
Well, is it because they're not following the source material?
You are correct. Especially Marvel. Marvel's terrible. Which is sad to say, but it's true.
Well, you mentioned Marvel, but DC seems like they might be trying to have a comeback. Did you see the Snyder cut of Justice League?
Yes.
Did you catch the Green Lantern at the beginning?
Yes.
I was so excited to see a Green Lantern that wasn't the movie.
Oh, the Ryan Reynolds film?
Right.
That's what you're reading, the Green Lantern comics, right?
I binge read a whole bunch of the Green Lantern comics, yes. I've kind of fallen off now, but I'll eventually get back on it.
You talk about an overlooked hero. I don't know why they haven't pushed this character to the moon. He's as great as Batman and Superman, but Batman and Superman are the only ones that ever get the credit. Did you ever see or read Green Lantern?
No.
No? Okay, so yeah, it's definitely going in the nerd territory there, but let's just say you've heard of him though.
Yeah, of course.
Which one?
He's
Green Lantern.
Yeah. Which Green Lantern?
Just Green Lantern. I've heard Green Lantern.
There's like 4 of them.
no pressure.
That's like the episode we were talking about Arrow, and you're like, you said Green Arrow. I remember that I had watched a show called Arrow.
Yes.
And I was like, are you talking about Arrow or are you talking about Green Arrow? Like, what are you talking about? Because I only know one.
And my response was yes.
And you just kept saying yes. Green Arrow. I'm like, but I'm talking about Arrow. You're like, yes.
Did you watch that Arrow show he was talking about?
I watched like the first season, maybe second.
I heard those were okay. But
It's
man,
all right.
why can't we get a screen accurate Green Arrow, an Arrow, more or less? I don't know if you've come across him in any of the Green Lantern comics or any of your digging around research, but his character is he's probably one of the coolest Justice League members.
I think he popped up in Blackest Night.
Blackest Night. Yeah, either way, all that stuff, between the comics and everything, the direction they're going, I would like to touch back on, no, I don't. I just realized that's going to be a 4-hour discussion.
Glad we got that cleared
Pretty
up.
much, well, you said something about Zack Snyder's Justice League. I went, oh.
Yeah.
I did?
I did.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't even know who Zack Snyder is.
I guarantee you've seen a Zack Snyder film.
Mm-hmm.
What?
You probably had to have seen 300.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
That seems like a
Go
movie.
Zack Snyder.
We're Snyder fans here.
But I think it might also be just because Gerard Butler.
He was bad. I think that he was an actor, for a long time before that, but I think that made him in the eyes of a mainstream.
He's better in 300 than he is in P.S. I Love You. I'm just kidding.
That makes me sad.
No, the number 2 movie. The number 2 movie for Gerard Butler is 300. His best movie is Law Abiding Citizen. 110%. I'd watch that again any day.
This will be the second time
Why
we've
did
made
you grimace?
Because this is the second time we've made mention of Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx was the protagonist in Law Abiding Citizen.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big Jamie Foxx fan.
What?
I'm not.
Hit the road, Jamie.
He was better back before he went a route where he decided to be nothing's wrong with wanting to be taken serious as an actor, but he just kept going for these roles that just like I felt like they were outside of his.
So you don't like Django?
So he was better in ensembles back in the 90s, and I'm glad he did mature into an actor, but he stayed at a certain level, and everyone kept saying he was such a great actor. And like, oh, did you see Ray? Oh, did you see this? I'm like, some of them are okay. But it's like, calm down. He's not, he's not the greatest, but he's okay. But the one movie I will back him in is Django. That's his best movie. That is, he doesn't, in my mind, there's nothing he can do to top that, and there's nothing he did before that was better. So Django was it. That's a Quentin Tarantino film I highly recommend. I'll recommend all Quentin Tarantino films, actually. But yeah, Django is tops for me. It's a spaghetti Western, which is a big turnoff for most of our audience, probably. Oh,
and I love spaghetti.
Spaghetti's awesome. And if you like spaghetti and you happen to like a tough cowboy, there you go. So, did you ever see Django?
I dislike both of those, spaghetti and westerns.
So
I blame your grandparents.
What's your take on Tombstone?
That's where the dead people are?
I'm leaving. I turn this off now.
What's your take on Red Dead Redemption?
The game? 1 or 2?
Which one did you play?
Either.
I didn't play either one. I did watch some people play 2 a little bit.
Did you at least like that?
There were funny things that happened.
Did you see any Western before that you might have enjoyed?
I watched multiple Westerns growing up as a child.
I know you did. Did you see any? Is there any of them that you actually could you wouldn't mind?
Quigley Down Under.
I knew you were gonna. I should have thought of that. Quigley Down Under.
Did you hear about how
Her
Red
husband
Dead
likes that movie.
Redemption got in trouble?
What?
Did you hear how Red Dead Redemption got in trouble?
No.
It was somebody. Well,
Wait, or even early on when it released?
yeah,
With the woman?
yeah. they got the person for the women's suffrage. They hog-tied her, lassoed her, threw her on the back of a horse, took her down and fed her to the crocodiles. And then other people started doing the same thing, and they came out against Red Dead Redemption saying that they hate women and all this stuff. It's like,
Wow.
So
we don't control what people
This was
do.
I think it was Twitch.
Like,
Was it-
people are terrible, not me.
I want to say it was Twitch. Yeah, he was streaming this, He's just listening to the women's center talking about women's suffrage. We have a right to vote. And he's just standing there listening. And all of a sudden, he just punches her in the face.
Yeah.
And then lassos her and drags her through town. Anyway, Twitch banned this dude or suspended him. I'm like, why? What did he do? He's playing a game that the developers designed and made. He's playing a game on your platform. Is there something wrong with playing a game?
I mean, apparently there's a problem with the way you want to play. If you want to play an open world, free to choose your own adventure game, you just can't choose one they don't like.
I've done some awful. My first playthrough was honorable. My second playthrough, I tried to be the most despicable person and do the worst things. I'm telling you.
My favorite thing to do is lasso people and drag them.
My wife could tell you. Sometimes she'd be over my shoulder. I didn't know, and she's seen me do some despicable things. She's going, JD. I'm like, what? I love you. I'm still me. I did terrible things.
So when you encountered the guy that got bit by a snake on his dong, did you help?
No.
I helped him suck the poison out.
Yeah.
No. Well, I don't know. If I was doing an honorable playthrough, his dong. If it was an honorable playthrough, yeah. If it was dishonorable, I used to give them medicine and then kill them.
That's a waste of resources.
I just go rob somebody else.
Why would you do that?
I paid off all my debts and bounties. Like, okay, because if you pay off your bounties and everything, because all the terrible things you've done, then and they're like, oh, good job, you were fined and this and that. They don't know I'm paying them off with blood money of everyone I've ever robbed, and I'm clearing my own bounties with everyone's deaths. But
it's like I have to leave your town and go collect more ransoms.
I would do that. I got out because you have a $1,500 bounty limit that it tops out in one town. So I go to another state. I go to another state and rob from them, build that up, and go back to pay this one off. I'll just go on record though. As fun as that, with the gameplay, untouchable. Everything about it's fantastic, but the better story is still the original Red Dead Redemption. Everyone's like, but Arthur though, everyone loves Arthur. I said, Arthur's cool. Arthur's fantastic. John Marston's cooler. There'd be no John Marston without Arthur. There was a John Marston before Arthur. The Arthur was made up after the fact. So here's the funny thing. Red Dead 2 is modeled after the American Western, right? Yeah. Red Dead 1 is modeled after the spaghetti Western, and that was better. The music was spaghetti. Everything about it was spaghetti, and it played out. Do you know the difference between the two?
No.
Education moment. A spaghetti Western are films like your grandmother used to watch. Where it's Clint Eastwood on there with his poncho, and it's the music.
Oh, that's Good, Bad, and Ugly, right?
Yeah, Good, Bad, and Ugly. You actually busted me watching that, and you called me by your grandmother's name. And that was funny. Anyway, the reason that's called a spaghetti Western versus, say, the John Waynes is because it was cheaper to film them in Italy. And they would film them in Italy, and besides the American actors, everyone else was an Italian actor, so they were dubbed. And so the lip sync was completely off. And so the voice actors wouldn't match, but it was such charm to it. They were dirtier, they were grittier, and it changed the Western. So spaghetti Westerns have a whole niche in the genre that it breathed new life into it when Westerns were about to die out from the golden age. So that's why whenever we say spaghetti Westerns, so Quentin Tarantino did Django in the spaghetti Western format, which was fantastic. And then he ended up doing another spaghetti Western called The Hateful Eight. But it was like a spaghetti / American, but I don't know. We're getting into tomato. Either way. So I think that'll wrap up our pop culture segment for the day. Who wants to get crazy?
I love being crazy.
Yay. Let's get crazy.
Crazy.
All right. So if you had a choice between option A, you grew up in a family that you probably have like 2 brothers, 2 sisters, a mom, and a dad. So just add however many family members that takes into the group that you've already got, right? You grew up in this family and they don't wear clothes the entire time you're growing up, from the time you're a young child to the time you're an adult, regardless of the fact that people are over.
Yeah.
They're just always naked, right? Very uncomfortable. Or option B, you have like IBS or something of the sort where you constantly have to go to the restroom, but every time you use the bathroom in public or private, you clog it.
Which
would you choose?
I have to have IBS. It specifically is IBS?
Well,
or am I just the toilet clogger?
Something that ruins your stomach and makes you go on a regular basis, and everybody's like, "Oh, better hurry and go to the bathroom. John's about to freaking destroy it again."
So I'm the toilet clogger. Everyone needs to clear out. Or
you have to grow up with the pain of watching your parents and siblings naked all the time.
Now, here's the funny question about that. If that's our family culture, would I even have a problem with it?
You know it's weird.
I'm the black sheep.
Yeah, you're just like you are today. Like if I thought about that happening, it does not sit well with me. Right? You're the same. You know it's weird. You don't want to see your parents naked. You don't want to see your siblings naked, but they're naked.
That's a weird one, man.
It's a twisted one. It's a weird one.
I mean,
it's just two different shames. Either the shame of the family or the shame of the self.
All right, for the dignity of my family, as funny as that one could be, I mean, just imagine family gatherings. Papa's going to carve the turkey.
I mean, I used to remember inviting people over to my house after like playing like a baseball game.
Yeah.
Like we finished playing baseball, they're like, "Hey, you want to come to my house or go to your house?" I'm like, yeah. Like I can only imagine like bringing a friend over and they're like, "Hey, your mom has a nice set." It's like, God, this is uncomfortable.
Or
I go to their house and clog their toilet. Those are
okay.
My options.
If those are the options, I mean, as funny as
you can't have Mac over anymore. He keeps clogging my damn toilet, son.
Man. So, I mean, the obvious answer is I'm going to be clogging toilets because it's not 100%. It's not 100% different than how it is for me in reality. I don't do it all the time, but it's happened. It's happened to everybody, but I would rather be known as the toilet clogger.
But there's an expiration date on one of them.
Oh, like be the toilet clogger forever versus I can just move out.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, because I'm a family man, so I'm very close to my family now, and I'm gonna want to see them and hang out with them and grow with them. So we don't want to be all naked. So I'll be the serial clogger. They'll probably actually have my face on on any venue. Like, do not let this man use the public bathroom. But
yeah,
then I'll just be like the some of the other homeless people and just go behind the venue in the dumpster area and deposit. But yeah, I don't. I mean, the naked thing. It's a little weird. I can see the comedy in it. I really can because I've seen skits like that before. But me personally, nah.
What if they were just in underwear all the time? Would that change your mind?
It's tolerable, but it's still not proper. I'm gonna be the. You call me my villain name in this whole journey.
Sir Clogs a lot.
The Deucer.
The Deucer.
Okay, this is a very easy answer.
Okay.
Because there is a difference between shame for other people and shame for your own actions. And I would rather feel shame for other people than something I've done myself. And plus, nudist is a thing, so I would take the naked family. As a middle child, I have been stacked upon my sisters in a one-bedroom room with me and 3 other girls. So, yeah, you'd get used to it. And then you move out.
So at Christmas, whenever you come over...
That's just how they are. Look, I can't make them do anything.
All your sisters, your brothers, and your father...
Your dad's reaching up to put the star on the tree, and you just...
Turn away, kids. It's time to put the star on.
See it hanging between his legs. Oh,
hey, I love them. But this is what they have chosen.
It's kind of...
Now, where's the bathroom? Because I need to use it.
Is that an ornament?
Is that a mistletoe?
Oh, man. Dad, you got some dingleberries that need cleaned up.
I can go to my friend's house. They don't have to come to my house. But I cannot be the one clogging up everybody's toilets. I cannot live with that.
Interesting.
So
we got a 50-50 split.
I mean, I get your logic and say when you have that many people you grew up with, that's one thing. But I'm saying, again, your current and future interactions with family,
I mean, you could have just narrowed it. Like, for me, my pick would be the serial clogger. But you could have just narrowed it down, like, your siblings are good, your dad's good, your mom likes to be nude all the time, and I still would have chosen Clogger.
Look.
I mean, I just can't. I can't imagine a world where that would be okay for me for 18 consecutive years every time I come in the door.
You get used to it.
I don't think there's any
Look,
getting
bless
used
their
to
hearts
it.
that they want to be part of the nudist colony.
You know,
Your mom walks by just knocking shit off shelves and stuff, and it's just like, oh, come on.
You memorize the layout of your house.
cold days, hot days.
You don't open your eyes. Memorize the layout of your house.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Going to my
Tracy.
room, Mom.
That's a lot of work.
As
Well,
the
and
lamp
imagine
crashes
the
down.
ultimate. Imagine the ultimate awkward thing. Like if I, however many siblings I have, and I'm sitting here, we're all at dinner table. I'm the rebel wearing clothes, and I reach over to get like the salt or whatever, and there's my sister. Oh, I got to live with that for the rest of my life.
Can you not just keep your eyes up? Eyes are up here,
I can keep my eyes up. Well, it's hard, but
There's a lot of things
There
up
are
in the
only
household.
so many bathrooms at work. I do not want to be the one that is clogging them all.
You have a minimum of 2 brothers that live at the house with you, and they're going through adolescence. What
This
does
is true.
that mean?
she does have 2 brothers.
That means
You're
you're going to have
you don't look at them. Get
two
out of my
boys
room.
running around half-mast at all times.
I will take my food in my room. Do not get in here.
Just standing outside and enjoying the weather, and all of a sudden a bird comes to perch.
You're outside playing tackle football, and all of a sudden,
Who's up for leapfrog?
oh Jesus!
It must be a gentleman thing that you are willing to clog all the toilets.
I mean, that's not a good choice. It's not a good choice. But at the end of the day, mental scarring is much less painful that way. I don't. I did not think anybody on the panel would go that way. I thought
I have been to
I'll
a
make
nudist
it bad,
colony.
but there's no way I can make it bad enough
Look.
that anybody would choose nudist.
No, I've been to a nudist colony. They're very happy out there.
So yeah, naked family for you then.
That's right.
Okay. I just want you to know I will not be attending any
No more family
function.
reunions.
For the ones I do go to, I might have to stop altogether. So
We'll send you a Christmas card.
Have you
That
ever
would be a-
seen? Have you ever seen that Christmas card of the family?
That's a stocking
of
stuffer.
nudists, and the dad is laying on the bottom. The dad is laying on the bottom. The mother is laying on his back. The oldest son is laying on the mom's back. Then the middle son, and then the littlest son.
Yeah.
Creepiest thing I've ever seen, because naughty bits are touching naughty bits all the way up the pile. And I'm like, what?
Ew.
And it's like a Christmas card. It's like a family portrait. It's like, what are you thinking?
Decent, crazy, weird,
Weird,
nasty.
nasty.
But yeah, it's a crazy take. So I just all I can think of just getting away from family for a second. We got to move on.
Yeah, we do. We really
So
need to.
I would like to issue a gentleman's challenge and a ladies' challenge.
I'm a little too scatterbrained for a gentleman's challenge.
Well, it's funny you say that. Since I issued the challenge, I better explain myself. You said you were a little scatterbrained earlier, and I thought, what better way to help you with that than to play Scatagories? Those that aren't familiar with Scatagories, it is a game that requires a little bit of a brain power, not much. It's simple, though. We have these little lists we go by of different subjects. Random things like things at a zoo, things with motors, things that fly, so on and so forth. Words that end in ly. You roll a letter, and then you fill it out on your list. Things in a hotel. If you roll a T,
For a hotel, towel.
and if you also answer the same answer as somebody else, you don't get the point. It's the person with the highest points. First of all, they can answer them all and get the most points with the corresponding letter. Will win the round and move on. We'll play a few rounds.
We all have the same list?
We all have the same list. However, there are examples where you can double up on your points. So let's say the category was a comic book character, and we roll an L. And if you wrote Lois Lane, that's 2, and so you get double point.
Oh.
So now we have a 2-minute time limit, and We're just going to answer as many as we can, the best way we can. And as the person who issued the challenge, I'm going to go ahead and roll first, our first letter.
Well, that sounds fair.
It's 100% fair.
Okay.
Because I'm all fair. All right, so wish me luck, because it's going to affect all of us. The letter is M. So we're going to do some M's. And when I say go, we're going to flip our lists. And on the count of 3, 2, 1. I feel like we're going to be at odds on this one, Mac.
A few moments later.
Alrighty. So up on the screen, here is the list of our categories. So we're going to read them off here. So the first one was a boy's name. I'll start. I had Mark.
Macklemore.
Mike.
That counts as one. So I'll put +1. U.S. cities. Montpellier.
Madison.
Nice.
Muskogee.
That counts. All right. Things that are cold. Milkshake.
Skipped it and forgot to come back.
Mustard. You put it in the fridge. It says refrigerate after opening.
School supplies. Magic marker.
Markers.
Pro sports teams. Milwaukee Brewers.
Mavericks.
Miami Dolphins.
Insects. Maggots.
Mosquitoes.
I skipped it.
Breakfast foods. Mimosa.
That's not
That's
food.
not a breakfast
That's not
food.
food.
Okay.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Muffin.
Muffin. Okay. Furniture. I had nothing.
Mat.
Nothing.
TV shows. Maverick.
Matlock.
Good one. That's a good one.
How I Met Your Mother.
How I.
It
It's
doesn't
a,
start with an M.
oh, does it have to start with the M?
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood the assignment.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Things found in the ocean. Manatee.
Mollusk.
Nice.
Skipped it.
Presidents.
We cancel each other out. I already know that you got Monroe.
Monroe.
Yeah.
Did you have one?
No, my brain fizzled out at this point.
Product names. Matchbox. I fizzled out.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Is that 2 points?
Well,
No, that's a slogan.
That's a slogan.
But
yeah.
I do appreciate that.
Okay.
That's a slogan.
I knew that I would get shouted on that, so I just wrote Maybelline. But I wanted to get clarification about whether that would have counted or not.
Okay, so let's add them up here. All right. JD with 9 points.
I got 5,
Okay.
but I'm warming up.
All right. You may fire when ready. N. The
N.
letter is N. All right. On the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
A few moments later.
We'll start with famous females. I went with Nancy Kerrigan.
Nicole Kidman.
Good one.
Nancy Drew.
I almost did her. That's why I went, Kerrigan. All right. That's 1. Medicine/drugs. Novocaine.
Naproxen.
Nicotine.
Things made of metal. Nails.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Hobbies. Nature watching.
Nodding.
No.
What do you do in that hobby? Out of curiosity.
You just nod. It's just enjoyable to you.
Yeah.
To just sit there and nod. Sit on a porch and nod.
I took the L and I
You're gonna
skipped
be a
it.
fun old man. you nodding there, Grandpa? What'd you put?
I took the L and I skipped it.
Okay. People in uniform. National Guard.
Nanny.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd say National Guard.
Navy SEALs.
Things you plug in. Nightlight.
Canceled.
Nightlight.
Canceled.
Yeah, canceled. We all did it?
Yeah.
Knew we canceled something. Animals. I put Nightcrawler.
Nightingale.
Nightcrawler, like the comic book character.
That'd be cool. He's not an animal, though.
What is a nightcrawler?
What is a nightcrawler?
The worms.
Worm.
Yeah. Whenever they do that at night.
I've never heard them called nightcrawlers as
I
a
have.
worm.
I thought he was a worm.
I skipped it.
Next one is languages. Nigerian.
That's not language.
I don't think that's the language. That's the place.
I wrote Navajo.
I skipped it.
Let's do.
He said Nigerian.
I was on the time grind. I'm like, oh crap. Here we go. Let's do names used in the Bible. We can't say Nehemiah.
Nineveh.
Ooh.
Nicodemus.
Junk food. I bet we both get this one. Nutella.
Nachos.
Oh.
I didn't even write anything.
Okay. Things that grow. Nuts. And what did you?
I skipped it.
I guess I got D's right here. Okay. Companies. Nabisco.
NRA.
Nintendo.
All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I got consistency. 5 points again.
Not
One up.
one.
It's 6 points.
So I'll just say 9.
Luck be a lady tonight. G.
What up, G?
Golly gee.
GG.
All right, here we
It's
go.
about to be GG for one of us.
On the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
A few moments later.
Let's see. Articles of clothing that starts with a G. G-string.
Golf shirt.
G string.
Yes. Yes.
Desserts. Gelato.
Gorgonzola.
Gelatin.
Car parts. Gear shift.
Gas tank.
Gear shift.
Damn it.
Good job. You're my hero. Keep going. Keep going.
All right. Things found on a map. Glaciers.
Grass.
Gift shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Guess that's how we get a map. I couldn't think of an athlete.
Greg Maddox.
Okay.
No.
4-letter word. Gone.
Guts.
Gran. This 4-letter word, gran. G-R-A-N. Like your grandma. Shortened form. Gran.
Items in a refrigerator. Garlic.
Golden apple juice.
Green bean casserole.
Farm animals. Goose.
I don't have anything.
Oh, goat.
Okay. Street names. Gary.
I wrote like Glockenspiel Lane and just crossed it out. That's not a real place.
It could be. I don't know. I can't.
I
If you can
put-
pull it up, if you can pull it up on Google, it's real.
I put Green Avenue. Because,
There's green avenues. Things at the beach. Goggles.
Glitter.
nah.
Colors. Green.
Green.
Granite.
Were you playing the same one I was? Like maybe if it's too obvious, I can do it. I did the same damn thing.
Granite.
Okay. Here we go. We got. I have 44.
35.
35. Mac.
41.
41. I'm the better man today. Woo! Okay, all right. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it because I know what's coming. Well, that was the Gentleman's Challenge. Kind of a brain tease. Did you all like that game's categories?
Well, I'm a technician, not a words person. So, let me find your X and we'll stick with that.
Thank goodness this wasn't a math challenge. I would have been eviscerated by both of you. Yeah, it has that fun little competitiveness to it. So I know you're a competitive person.
Oh, very.
Did you like the game?
I wasn't a big fan.
Not a big fan?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
I'll
just
take
a
my
little-
loss.
Okay. So hope you all enjoyed these categories for the first and last time on the show. So, all right, let's go ahead and second to the comeuppance of the lesser man and lady. The comeuppance will be something simple along the lines of the gentleman shaming or lady shaming. Today we're going to rinse our mouths out with ghost pepper insanity hot sauce. That's it. That's it. We'll swish, swish, gargle, swallow. Okay. 1. The chug-a-lugga. The ghost pepper. We'll call this the ghost pepper plunge.
Allergies that need clearing.
All right. All right, let's do the same time. Swish, swish, gargle, swallow.
Swish, swish, gargle, swallow.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's hot. That's hot.
So in this purifying process, Is there anything reflective thoughts coming to you?
It actually tastes really good. Ooh, I'm gonna have to use that.
Drooling.
Doesn't taste good?
No.
Okay.
No, it tastes good. I am drooling too, though.
All right. That, you guys took that like champs, probably better than I would have. This is the same brand of hot sauce that was used for the hot chicken challenge. Only this one had ghost pepper in it. So I don't know if that made it. Is it hotter than the chicken, would you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is actually kind of stinging my eyes a bit. So how about we, now we got that hotness out of the way, we go into the hot take. When it comes to the hot take, I know you all just did one. Does anyone want to go first, or do you need time to regather your thoughts?
I need some time.
And I'll give you time. I will kick off this hot take because there is something that just baffles me. I had one planned out for today, but then I remember, oh yeah, something else really bothered me when it came to skin color. So, my hot take, once again, Disney comes up. Disney is doing a live-action remake of an animated film, which they've been doing for many, many years, and this time it is the turn for Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is coming, and they've been casting everybody and announcing all the casting. And there's been a huge, huge backlash against all the casting done because no one is happy with the skin color of the actors hired. So, for example, did you see Lilo and Stitch?
The live action or the animated?
The animated.
Yes.
Okay. I believe it takes place in Hawaii, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. And all the characters are primarily Hawaiian. Did you see Lilo and Stitch?
The cartoon.
Yeah, okay. So you saw it. And so they have gone and casted Hawaiian actors to play the roles. Shocking, right? They actually casted Hawaiians to play Hawaiians. I mean, I'm trying to think about it, how I would get mad about that. Nothing's coming up. However, there are death threats on Disney, the casting directors, the actors themselves, because their skin is too light compared to the animation. And I'm dead serious. This is a whole thing. You can get on Twitter right now and see thousands upon thousands upon thousands of mad people because of this. And so, I mean, that begs the question. They want darker skin. Sorry, man. They want darker skin-colored people to play these roles. I'm like, okay. So the first girl they picked to play Lilo's mother.
Her sister, actually.
Was it her sister? Mm-hmm. Thank you. It's been 20 years since I saw the film. To play the sister, she was cast, and I guess people are upset because she has a lighter complexion. However, if you look past her headshot photo she has, she's actually darker in some of her private photos, like on her Instagram and whatnot. Still not dark enough. Matter of fact, what was it? The only one they didn't complain about was the guy that they hired to play Agent Cobra Bubbles. Cobra Bubbles is his name? The FBI guy?
I don't remember.
Yeah, anyway, so he was a gentleman of color, a black gentleman, and no complaints there. But every other Hawaiian, they griped and threatened, even said we need to boycott and attack these actors because how dare they take the role. So it's on them too. So why is this a problem? I don't understand why it's a problem. You're just now complaining about hold on. You're not even complaining about a race swap. They said you need to be as true to the animation as possible. You're terrible people and evil. I'm like, but they're Hawaiian. So it sounds like it's more of a color issue, not necessarily a race issue. They want just people that are dark no matter what. And I'm like, it is. I mean, as a person on this side of the fence, it's kind of interesting to hear it. Like, oh, you want it to be as true to the original as possible. I mean, I know a lot of people that feel that way about modern films and animations because, I mean, swapping characters and race swaps and colors kind of sucks, doesn't it? And now you're upset about this. And here's this is a very Disney thing right here. They casted the boy. I can't remember what his role was in the animation, but they casted the boy. Everyone lost their minds. So Disney bent the knee. They rescinded it. They did not hire him after all. They said, sorry, we can't. They hired another actor to play the boy. with darker complexions. So they bent the knee in Disney fashion. Those cowards. I don't know why they would do that. I mean, I know why they would do that. They're spineless. But second of all, it's just like, what's the problem here? You wanted Hawaiians. They cast Hawaiians. That side is never happy, ever. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. It speaks for itself, the ridiculousness of it. But that's pretty much going to be my hot take. It's just you guys contradict yourselves, and it's quite a show to watch. It's almost mind-boggling how that goes. Any thoughts on that, or?
No, you're right.
So
I have like no thoughts right now. I think it's moved to my stomach.
I feel it.
well, Tracy, do you have a hot take for us today?
Oh, do I have a hot take? And this is something I haven't heard anybody talking about. But back on books, because I love books. Books need to have a rating system like movies do. That book series I was talking about earlier, A Court of Thorns and Roses, there is so much sex in that series. So much. And there's a lot of murder and just a lot of bad stuff going down. And I could easily see this book being given to like a teenager. But this has stuff in it that's like in an R-rated movie. Detailed sex scenes. But it's just out there in the wild. You couldn't tell it has that stuff in it from what you can read on the back.
So it reads like a smut novel or something?
Yeah. Not that that's everything in it. It just has multiple scenes of it.
And graphic.
So there are books like this out there all over. You can even get a lot of sex scenes in young adult novels that you'd find in, public school. I've come across some. And there's nothing on the book that tells you that it has stuff like that. So you get an R-rated movie for having a sex scene, but you can put it in the written word and paint the picture in your mind and it's okay.
And is this book maybe like in a public school or something?
I haven't personally seen it, but I could easily see it. I have read things that my parents never do because you can't tell from the outside.
Okay, so it's probably not in graphic detail either, like you're talking about with this series you're mentioning.
No, they usually go into some detail.
Would you say this one you're reading now is a little more?
Oh, this one's way more.
Okay, maybe this author had the intention of, let's make this super graphic so they can make it even more glorious on the big screen for whenever it gets adapted for a TV show. I mean,
look at what happened with that Shades of 50 Grey.
Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey, yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
So, funny story about 50 Shades of Grey. I was at an airport and I had taken the Song of Ice and Fire Game of Thrones book with me because I had heard it was good. The first few 100 pages was so boring that I went to the bookstore at the airport and bought 50 Shades of Grey, not knowing what it was because nothing on the outside said it was BDSM.
Mm-hmm. That's a love story for a woman or something. They usually how they advertise it.
Yeah. And it was written well. It was well written. I got into the story and then the kink happened and I had to know how to finish, but I would rather have not picked it up in the first place.
Had you known?
Had I known.
Yeah. I heard about the novel. I never read it myself. I heard about them and what they do and the effects of it, and I'm just like, that's not very positive. And I said something about it, and I remember a coworker jumped my hide about it. She's like, "Did you read the novels? Then you don't know she got in my face about it. Told me to shut up." And I was like, well, "Trust me, I'm never going to read it anyway. You enjoy your smut." And apparently, we'll definitely pause.
Oh, it burns.
Still?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think I might want to throw this up, too.
I mean, if it helps.
Yeah.
But well, we had to take a quick pause from our hot take because the hot sauce took over. And so I do apologize for the...
Time out. Oh, man.
I think it's the sitting down at the angle you're at. Try leaning to your left.
I'm like...
When you lean left while sitting down, it releases gas pressure. That's what they do for babies whenever they have trapped gas. I didn't believe it until I did it one day.
I burped.
See? Yeah.
That's so weird.
I tried it. Well, you're paying right now, but when you sit down, lean left. Oh. As you saw, the hot sauce has definitely taken its toll. Though I am today's better man, I feel terrible, to be honest. I really do.
It's not so bad. You know, it tasted good the second time too.
I mean, right now I'm on that. I feel like I dodged a huge bullet, and I have survivor's guilt. But yeah, because he got up, then you got up, and it's like, oh, we're already in this. And so, from the perspective of everything, we're about 45 minutes later, and it's been a healing journey. This might have been the most brutal comeuppance we've ever done. I know I've said that on a few. This is.
And you would do that to a lady.
Hey, someone said something about equality, and I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't do equality. Some lady was punched in the face for it in Red Dead too. Okay. We were waiting on Mac to come back, and it looks like it's just not going to be able to happen tonight because that stuff's pretty hot, and it can do a number on your insides. And what also did not do him any favors was he didn't eat, so he had an empty stomach, and that's on us. So we're definitely going to finish the show. It's weird having an empty seat next to me. However, I guess we covered all the hot take as far as the explicit book you wouldn't think. And then the Lilo and Stitch thing. I'm sure Mac's hot take probably would have been pretty good. But alas, his hot take was the hot sauce. So, Tracy, did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
Would you come back?
Oh, definitely.
Good. That's good to know. That's really good to know, actually. Do you think we can get your husband on?
Yes.
Okay.
But no hot sauce for my husband.
No hot sauce for that. No more hot sauce ever. We're done with hot sauce on the show, okay? We're done. I'm making a gentleman's call right now. Other than that, I'd say everything came together to form a perfect take. Mac would say
a gentleman's take.
Indeed. So I guess we'll just wrap it up with be sure to sit back, sip some bourbon,
smoke a stogie,
read a book.
Oh, definitely read a book.
And appreciate the finer things in life, and we will see you all on the next episode. Clink. The Audience Take.
We want to hear from you.
Any suggestions or requests for future takes, challenges, comeuppance, or criticisms, please email us at AGentlemansTakePodcast@gmail.com.
Don't forget to check out our Twitter and Instagram pages for exclusive content.